You know, I really do take my grass seriously. See, there is a corridor to walk here, and you can see how it is in line. Can you see how there's lines of it? There's a line there, and then there's a line there. I just like when I come harvest, I can cut, you know, that line, then I cut that line.
Forget about sustainability. You want to enrich ecosystems.
Every being is equipped to live a positive, energetic balance.
Keep it pruned.
We are cultivating abundance.
Not a problem to cut down trees. The problem is not planting them.
Yo, hello friends from the Agroforestry Academy. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk grass. We're going to talk have a little walk around the farm and look at some diverse style grass systems that we have. We've basically concentrated our grasses down here with the Mombasa grass, the elephant grass, Napier elephant grass, and the Brachiaria. So let's go straight into it and have a look. All right, so we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna go have a little walk around. In this particular corridor here, we're talking about lines of trees. All right, this was all a vegetable system when these trees were all very low, and the initial first couple of years, we done about 4, maybe 5 times turnover of vegetables here, easily 5 times, 4, 5 times, and basically it was 1 tree row, 3 vegetable rows, and another tree row. Okay, tomatoes, quails, everything, all the standard vegetables you could think of. The final time that I introduced vegetables, I was planting onions, and that's when I introduced the grass. I was planting onions in consortium with grass. So each one of these beds had a line of onions. Say it was like a 90 centimeter bed, roughly is how I like to do them. I can't confirm that was exactly that, but like I like to do them 90 centimeters. I'd have had about 7 onions on that as a line, and then 20 centimeters, a line of Mombasa. A line of onions and a line of Mombasa. Onion, Mombasa, onion, Mombasa, onion, Mombasa. And as the onions were still here, we're cutting the Mombasa and feeding the onion, opening up the light and feeding the onions. Once we harvest the onion, boom, let go, the Mombasa is ready to go. The ideal situation is every 3 cuts, you leave 1 cut for the system, and you're gonna have booming grass forever. So this is one situation here. Next door, right next door, we have another situation. Similar first 2 years where we had the tree rows. I don't know, they're about 6 meters away from each other, maybe about 5.5. And the triple lines of veg. These triple lines in this situation, we tried some passion fruit stuff. Didn't really work out this variety. When I introduced it, you know, 2.5 to 3 years into the system, it was already too shaded for this variety anyway. We introduced the tall bananas. We've been showing this in recent videos. We've cut them down to capture the water for in the rain season, to have the maximum amount of water in the drought. We've spoken about in the last video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But in this situation here, since we planted like passion fruit, we planted bananas and some other things by seed, some leucaenas and papayas, and then again repeated that one there with the passion fruit. We tried something different. We tried planting the Mombasa grass by clumps. Now, in some parts it's better than others. I mean, it seemed really nice initially because it seemed like I was organizing it where I wanted it to grow in a line. But let's say about 20% of it didn't survive, so I had to come back and replant that. Initially, I had a good information where it sprouted early. I had an early shoot rather than sometimes Mombasa needs to grow once, and then after the second cut, it thickens up. But then I felt like it wasn't so dense, you know. If we can look down here and see. Now this has already been a couple of years, and these clumps, see, there's like gaps where there's no clumps. Hello there. There's like gaps where there's no clumps. I don't know. You see, they're still like kind of clumped. They're not closed off. You see, you can still see where the clumps were. So I've done double line of clumps. They were like 20 centimeters from one another in each of these beds. Okay. So obviously we haven't Made the most of it here, where there must have been a big banana bunch. But you can see where the clumps are still on the ground and how it hasn't closed off as sweetly. But there it is, you know, raining, and there is the grass there. Let's move up to another section just over here. Here we've repeated the system, the clumping system. And here we planted this grass here. It's looking quite plush. This was obviously vegetable system. I think the last vegetable I'd done here was strawberries. Oh, there were nice strawberries as well. Nice strawberries. And then I introduced the grass. But here I had some kind of Bermuda grass dominating. They were going even into the tree rows. And funny how now that I've removed the Bermuda grass from here, it's not even around here. Like, I don't know, the extra shade, it does seem to go well on the shade as well, the Bermuda, but maybe the extra covering in the soil, because we've really covered these tree lines quite deeply. So this is probably how we managed to, I mean, there's some serious amount. I'm not even gonna try to get to the bottom of that, but there's some serious amount of organic matter in the tree lines. And in this grass line here, what we had the Bermuda grasses. It was a situation where I wanted to eliminate the Bermuda grass. What did I do? We introduced the black velvet beans, very dense. Boom, 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 boom. Closed it up with black velvet beans. As we planted the black velvet beans in line, we were able to remove it very easily just before it flowered, just before it set seed, as it was flowering, with just little scissors, tuk, at the very feet. Removed it, made that organic material. It didn't resprout because we took it at the very feet. We knew because we planted it in line, so it's very easy to go along the line removing it. And then as soon as we put that down, I sowed the Mombasa grass here, and I sowed it in lines across each of the 3 beds. So we do have a corridor still. We have a corridor to walk on here. You know, I really do take my grass seriously. See, there is a corridor to walk here, and you can see how it is in line. Can you see how there's lines of it? There's a line there, and then there's a line there. I just like when I come harvest, I can cut, you know, that line, then I cut that line. You know, I know where things have been planted, so I can harvest it in line. So you're seeing there's corridors between each line, and this is the central. So we've got a central corridor there, and between each line there's little corridors like that, and we just formed this pasture. It's all, you know, handwork. This is, you can't really get this level of detail as you scale up, but this is all very, you know, just kind of homestead for my horse. This is all Mombasa grasses for the horse. I need to make the most of it. I give a lot of care. I bring a lot of organic matter to the corridors, so it gives me a place where I can concentrate a lot of the, you know, life in the soil in the corridors there. So this outshaded first of all the black velvet beans, and then the Mombasa grass. That was it for the Bermuda grass. Easy peasy, remove that, substitute that. Now let's, up here we have another grass system, double lines over here. This here, even when we done our course, this was a fruit system, and we got I'll put a link in the description where we planted this, and in the course 2 years ago, it was just very thin lines. I just seeded it. So I done the vegetable here a few times around, and then here is only 2 vegetable lines between each tree rows. Down there at the first, because there's a tree line, 3 vegetable lines, tree line. Here's tree line, 2 vegetable lines, tree line. So here's denser. And what we've done here, we've actually sowed by seed 2 lines of Mombasa on each vegetable beds after a lot of rotations of veg. So this was sowed by seed, and compared to those clumpy ones, it's a lot denser. It's not like a clump. It's not like a clump, it's very dense. So I feel like it closes off quite nicely. There's still, like in all cases, there's a corridor in the center. Here I've laid down a lot of wood in this corridor in the center. A lot of the eucalyptus that come down, I just laid them down straight in between, you know, the corridors here. So we are getting wood in the ground in the central area as well. So this Mombasa has been laid down, sowed, double lines in each of these old vegetable beds. Let's move along down to another area of the farm. So we're on our way there, but just before we go there, let's say hello to Marley. Yeah, this is actually Marley number 3. Good old Marley, nice, good boy. Nice. So guys, don't forget to like the channel. Don't forget to recommend to any of your friends that are doing any grass systems. Most of these systems, they're prior videos from when they were younger and things like that, how we established them. All right. So don't forget to share this video with your friends. If you haven't subscribed, do so you be in touch with us. You'll be the first to know when we've got the videos out. So we're just approaching now an Napier grass system. Let's check it out. All right, so this is where we got those 4-part videos, how we introduced, how we planted Napier grass through vegetable systems. I've been harvesting a lot. You can see where it's all freshly cut. We've been quite aggressive, and you can see where, you know, how we leave one every 3 cuts. So you can see the organic matter from a cut that we left behind not so long ago, and you can really see that it does count. You know, it is enough to bring life to the soil. Look at this organic matter, you know, that was laid down. So look, it fed itself. Look at it. Look at that. That is some organic matter. And look, the grass is looking healthy and pumping. All right, haven't come back and ever manured it ever since I planted it. Okay, so it does pay to give back the grass. Okay, there's a little bit of sugar cane in the middle there, but this is all grass system here. And this was all basically planted in a Mombasa field. It was once upon a time Brachiata. We introduced Mombasa through corn and Mombasa pumpkin system. And now I've introduced the inline irrigated in the drought Napier grass system, right? The elephant grass. So recently we've been showing you guys where the tomato, consortium tomato with the Napier grass. Again, link to that in the end of the video. The very last tomatoes in the house, we harvested that. We definitely paid for all our labor, all our costs through the tomatoes. That was great. So the legacy is the grass, Napier grass system. So this is a system where we're planting vegetable, we're doing proper vegetable beds, and we're putting Napier grasses on the border of it, and the Napier grass just thrives off the leftover of the vegetable. Obviously the vegetable, you know, high demanding, high nutrition, high everything, good soils, everything prepared for the vegetable. We harvest that, we make the money out of that, and we get the legacy, which is the Napier grass field. And we even start introducing 1 Mexican sunflower in the corridors between each Napier grass bed. So that was a vegetable bed, so it had double Napier grass on the side of it. This would have been the corridor, which is now Mexican sunflower, and then again double Napier grass on what would have been a vegetable bed. This corridor here, we just haven't introduced the Mexican sunflowers in each of these corridors, which we should have by now. Now what I got to do now is go ahead and cut all of that and feed it back down, if I'm not feeding it to the cows at the moment. So it's really cool, it's thriving. We got some avocados planted in, just for cheeky avocado, just for future profit. So every 4 meters there's one, there's another. So we just planted the cheeky avocados. This Napier grass system really is a sun-based. You know, Napier grass does tend to go away as it shades itself out. So this is an open system, but you know, the avocados are quite slow. If it takes them like 3 or 4 years to shade out the system, and that means, you know, I'm going to get paid for the avocado, so I'm up for that. As long as I'm getting paid, I can remove this grass from here. Yeah, we put some of the forgot what they're called. Some of these nitrogen fixing babies here, castor beans around to feed that. We've got some pork beans on the next one, some black velvet bean on the next one. So we've done different type of green manure covering in each of these, just to play around with what we had. But the main covering of the soil here was done by the tomatoes, the corolla tomatoes, which was great. Let's move down to the next section. In this situation here, we had the tree lines, triple line of veg. In the center here, we introduced some pigeon peas, some other legumes and some other stuff back in the day. But apart from the pigeon peas, nothing actually really expressive. A few things that have grown there spontaneously, some leucanas and some That's an eucalyptus and eucalyptus there. But this grass here, 3 vegetable beds. How I planted it again, consortium with onions. So this left one, it would have been line of grass, line of onions, grass, onion, grass, onion. That was really cool. And in the middle one, we've done the same thing, but we had the napier grass planted on the outside borders of that. And we had a lot of cut of the napier grass, but you know, as it shades out, the Mombasa comes through. And this situation here, because it's quite opened, we've done quite some radical pruning. We brought down the eucalyptus down on the ground. Excuse me. So the napier grass is still kind of alive. I really want to transform the system into pasture systems. I don't want to be cutting. This was a lot of cut and take to the animals, cut and take to the animals. But since it's very open, there's some napier grass and some next information. It's about 120 meters long. This is quite long. I can put quite a few cows in here. And we have 1, 2, 3 of these corridors in this system. So it's quite a lot of grass to go through. But it's mainly Mombasa, and we've got some napier grass as a legacy still from the side. But when we consortium the Mombasa with the napier grass, usually the napier grass is more vigorous initially, and then the Mombasa, as it beefs up after the second, third cut, it produces more because the napier grass is removing itself, it's outshaded and things like that. This is our Agroforestry Academy course. We've got the free course online. Most of you have checked that out already. This was the grass module. So you've seen how we planted it there. I believe we had corn, beans, and then we had the napier grass and the Mombasa. So the napier grass again planted on the borders and the Mombasa in the center of the line with the central corn and stuff. So after we harvested the corn and beans, there was thin Mombasa and there was already some thick elephant grass, right? Napier. So we were harvesting the napier thick, things shaded out, it removed itself, and the Mombasa established itself. So now we're just pretty clean, straightforward Mombasa here. Let's go down and see the cow system. All right, so these are the pastures, the polyfarming system. We had the chickens in here, we have the cows in here as well. So here we've got the Mexican sunflowers, double lines. This is supposedly 12 meters of pasture, triple line of trees as well. Quite a few videos on the system. Triple line of trees, 12 meter pasture. Triple line of trees, 12 meter pasture. And we've got, in this 12 meter pasture, we've got these double lines here of the Mexican sunflowers. They're 3 meters away from the borders, 3 meters, so therefore 6 meters away from each other here. And it's based on the brachiaria and the Mexican sunflowers. Mexican sunflowers not very difficult to be vigorous. This brachiaria is looking good, it's looking nice, but it's not as vigorous as the products, as the grass we've seen previously in the video. This was open pastures, degraded pastures, and since these lines they're so far away from each other, it hasn't really yet had an impact in the center. I've given 1 cut of grass back, so I've helped it a little bit. Obviously with the stamping of the cows, does the own mulching, breaking up with the manure of the cows and manure of the chicken. It's enriching slowly, but it's only been 1 season of animal interaction. And since, you know, the trees are further out, it has had less influence. So this grass is bettering, but at a slower pace. I believe in about 1 or 2 years, we're gonna have a really, really nice grass health-wise in the system here. You know, as the cows step on it, as the chickens step on it, as there's more manure given back, as regular cuts, fresh regrowth, we're gonna see greener, more vigorous grass down here. So today, you know, just a little walk around. You know, things are raining, so the grass is looking good. It's been about 45 to 60 days of rain. You know, almost 2 months of rain roundabout. So everything's looking really plush. The animals are looking all really nice and fat. It's great, man. You know, to think that 2 years ago I was spending 10,000 Brazilian reais, Brazilian money, 10,000 Brazilian money on hay in the drought, and this last season I spent 550, just one little batch of hay. 550 compared to 10,000. Well, the dollar to the reais then was a better ratio. Now it's pretty scandalous, if I could say. This year I spent about $100. You know what I mean? And I must have been spending about $1,000, something like that. You know, over like $1,500 or whatever on hay 2 years ago. So that's how far we've come. All right, and that's the challenge. Sometimes people are like, but how come you're not making so much money? You know, my focus sometimes is not necessarily to make the money, is to reduce the cost. I have so much stuff going on. I have so many benefits from the cows and the other animals that go on here. If I reduce the cost, that's money, that's profit. So I'm all about reducing costs as well, not only cash crops, you know what I mean, but crops that are gonna, you know, make sure that I'm more sustainable and I'm not having to dig into my pockets in the drought, which that's the real killer. All right, so guys, if you dig our videos, you know, there's the Patreon community there. We interact on the Q&As, have a little early access, and it's just really a way of supporting the channel, you know, keeping us producing these videos on a regular for you guys. All right, so do check out our Patreon community there, Patreon /Agroforestry Academy, subscribe and all of that. So till next time, baby.